It's a shit show? We're just gonna...
Subjective, somewhat uneducated opinion. I totally admit that. This is where Bernie's biggest problems lie, in my opinion. Bernie had so much name recognition coming into this race. He had a whole campaign cycle juxtaposed against the most moderate Democrat in the world, and he came into this election when they started polling early at 16 points, and he just really hasn't made any ground, right? Like, everybody that knows about everybody that's going to know about Bernie pretty much already knows about Bernie. Like, Peter...
It's so... How many months are we away from the Iowa caucus? We're not even near the first primary. What are you doing? This is why there's debates. Not to mention the fact that after everything blows over, you're then going to have to deal with the recourse after the debates. It's not there yet. He's quoting the polling before it even exists. Hi, Jeepson, by the way. I saw you for like a flash second in MR's chat. It was going really fast. Still upset that didn't make me a mod, but it's okay. I'll get over it. I'll get over it. I'm good. Turn away.
Let's back up and explain. What's the problem with being morally lucky? The problem with arriving at a conclusion that you didn't reason your way into is at the snap of a finger, you could think something completely fucking different the next day. Because if you didn't reason yourself into a position, you can be emotionally moved out of it, right? And all of these progressives that are like, well, actually, the polls actually lied. The polls were actually so fucking wrong. No, they weren't. The polls were about where they should have been. Hillary won the popular vote. I don't know if you missed that or not. Most people that were doing good projections showed that Trump had like a reasonable chance of winning. I think it was 20% given by Nate Silver. People are acting like the polls like totally missed everything.
Yes. Let's quote Nate Silver right now. Let's talk about Nate Silver, who has been disowned by every single statistician in the country because his polls are not scientific. He was wrong. He was wrong in that. In 2016, he guessed one right. He got one prediction right, and that was 2012. And that's an easy one to do. It was easy to see that Romney was going to lose. And that's where he started his name. That's where 538 got his big thing, because he nailed most of the states. But then he got disowned because actual statisticians were looking at his polls and they were like, these aren't scientific. What about that, Destiny? How about those facts? How about that logical argument, bud? Jesus fucking Christ, man. I swear he's going to. I swear you're right on this.
Okay, dude. Although, I don't know. He's got a lot of weird shit behind him. Honestly, probably fucking Yang or some shit. I think UBI would be an interesting direction to move America to. I think it'd be really interesting to see. I don't know enough about Delaney's background, but Delaney was spitting mad fucking facts. Holy shit. Oh, fuck. I think I watched him go off on, like, fucking trade policy. God damn. That dude seemed like he knew some shit, but I don't know enough about his background. And honestly, I don't know how I feel about having, like, another, like, multi-millionaire in the White House. Seems kind of weird.
Did he just go to camp for Delaney and say he had a point? Oh, my God. He has... This is an example of someone who's good at one thing. One fucking thing. It's a whole lot easier to debunk right-wingers and to put them in their place than it is to actually hold your fire up to actual left-wing policy. It's one thing debating fascists. It's a completely other thing to come in here and think that you actually have something to say about leftist policy.
Speaker too. I just don't know much about him.
I thought Peter Coffin was in here.
The Center for Elective Lawmaking scores members of Congress based on how successful they are at moving legislation. Yeah, I don't understand. It's so weird because people sit here and tell me, well, Destiny, Pelosi hasn't done shit in the past 2 years. Like, what do you mean? The House has passed a ton of legislation. Okay, well, none of that counts because it's dying in the Senate. What the fuck is Pelosi supposed to do about the fucking Senate? Walk across the hall and go fucking fight Mitch McConnell? Like fist fight him? Like box?
Destiny. Chuck Schumer is a Democrat. She could go and talk to Chuck Schumer. There are things that they can do. For one thing, impeachment. There are many things she can do. If she could, get off her ass for 5 fucking minutes and just, stop voting in right-wing fascist bills. How do you not know this? You study politics for a living. This man studies politics for a living. This guy has broken people out of the alt-right. And then into what? Centrism? Useless centrism? He's good at the one thing, and he needs to stick to that one thing. It's a whole lot easier being right about white genocide than it is about Medicare for all. Isn't it, Destiny? This is ridiculous. Oh my God.
The same number as Biden. Therefore, the data concludes that the progressive candidates are just as popular as your average moderate.
Nice. Wait, I can't tell if that was true or not. Wait, were you memeing? I actually don't know anymore. Because Biden shares his fans with Bernie. Bernie and Warren voters are not the same people at all. So that's not true. You can't just add Bernie and Warren voters together. Like, oh, well, look, it's about as popular as Biden. That's not how that works. The people that vote for Bernie and Biden are both less educated, less college education, lower income people that vote for those two people. Warren voters are more likely to be shared with Kamala Harris voters, more educated, more likely to be female, higher income. Source?
Also, Biden voters are a lot older. That doesn't. Oh, Cole canceled. Oh, I forget. Oh, he was gonna do a live stream. I forgot about that. This guy, man. He went from being like, yeah, he's pretty good, to just, because I mean, like, the thing he's not realizing is that, like, dude, Biden has mass support of people 40 and up. Bernie has most of his support from younger generation. And I got news for you, bud. There's a whole lot more of us than there is of them. Texas speech. I never trust it. This guy, I swear, he's trying to destroy his own career. Or he's looking for that right-wing money. He wants to be the next Ben Shapiro. without the anti-Semitism.
Bernie just useless, and his only appeal is that he will bring U.S. politics further to the left. Is there any good things about Bernie who can't pass any legislation?
Was it this? No, it wasn't this. We watched a video yesterday with somebody with people. Oh, it was this. Oh, these guys kind of break into it as well.
Of their supporters. So what do I mean here? Let's take a look at this recent Quinnipiac poll for Senator Warren. The higher you go on the income scale, the more support she garners. You can see that there. So she polls 11% of those making less than 50K, 13% of those between 50 and 100K, and 22% of those making over 100K. Now for Sanders, it's the exact opposite dynamic. He's got his strongest support among those making less than 50K and his weakest among those making more than 100K. And of course, we all know how billionaires feel about Senator Sanders. Now, every poll that I've looked at that asks about income shows this exact same dynamic. So this is a consistent trend that we're seeing throughout.
He's gonna turn this into something bigger than it is. But if you add those two lower class numbers together, they're higher than the upper class number for both Warren and Bernie. That was 23% versus 22% for people making less than 100,000 versus people making more than 100,000. And he's not going to address this. He's not going to say this. And that's 27% for people making less than 100,000 for Bernie, with 7% making more than 100,000. Because those are the people that are going to get taxed. And again, I'm going to keep saying this because Destiny's not going to say it. He's not going to realize it. There's a whole fuck ton more of us. Yes, us, because I ain't making 100,000 a year. I'm making anywhere close to that. Than there are of them. And we will show up. We will vote. Sorry, bud. You're fucking up right now. He won't tell you this. Listen.
That asks about income shows this exact same dynamic. So this is a consistent trend.
Destiny is claiming that Bernie and Warren supporters are not a coalition when their policies are so similar to Biden, whose policies
27.
are the literal opposite.
24,
oh my God, my dude.
27.
I feel so bad for you because one day you're going to wake up and you're going to hop on your computer and you're going to be like, wait a second.
You're right. He does equate
do Americans
low
really
income
not
to
vote on a
uneducated.
comprehensive understanding of
You're
policy?
right.
But that's okay. Oh, I was going to say this before. I'm being kind of a dick, okay? I admire the starry-eyed optimism that a lot of you had. I had it too. I'm 30 years old. I'm older. I'm jaded. A little bit more experience under my belt. And everything that you guys are feeling right now about Bernie Sanders, I felt the same way about Ron Paul, okay? Now, you might not know this story. It's a little told story of American political history. But there were me and a whole bunch of other...
This motherfucker just compared Bernie Sanders to Ron Paul and tried to use his age as some sort of cudgel. Are you fucking kidding me? Dude, I'm 34. My 40-year-old cousin is the biggest Bernie supporter and works for the city of Flint. My oldest brother is a Bernie supporter, and he's in his 40s. Everyone I know around my age is fucking in their 30s, in their late 30s, early 30s, mid 30s, doesn't matter. Older than you, bud. And let me tell you, we aren't just starry-eyed. We're suffering, motherfucker. Thank you, Hellord. Like, this is crazy. No, I appreciate the help. Thanks, Trump supporters, for, raising me up on the list, by the way. The kids are in full force. It sucks because I'm going to have to end soon, but I want to keep this going a little bit longer. Somebody, oh my God. I need to. I need to. Okay. Somebody donated 500 bits as Sam Cedar and said, "I want to cry. I don't want Biden." I want to click it. I want to click it. I want to see who this motherfucker is. Subbed for 4 months. Fake name. Fake news. Fucking fake news. Absolutely. Fake news. I'm glad you were able to come in too. Like, give me a fucking break. If Sam heard this, like, Sam, I think he would just get frustrated. The Michael thing is going to be interesting. It really is. But for fuck's sake, man. Like, he might as well just be yelling, "Bernie's not a real Democrat. Bernie's not a real Democrat." So that makes just as amount of sense as what he's saying. Like, literally, you conflated low income with uneducated. He ignored the fact that if you combine the numbers for people making less than 100,000, it's actually higher for both people than the people who make over 100,000. Therefore, that's more people. That is the same people in a lot of ways. There definitely is this amount of people who are definitely centrists, who are vying for Warren out of some misguided view of identity politics. But, you know, that's not all of them. Because there's a lot of people who are like, you know, I just think, you know, maybe they think legitimately, and I'd understand this. I do understand the complaint about his age. I get it. I wish there was someone younger who could do it. There are, but they're also not old enough to run for president. Not yet. Until then, we got Bernie. He's still alive and kicking, and he's doing a fuck ton better than Sundowner Biden over here. And this moron is vying for that guy who couldn't even get his text number right and said it was a website and still got it wrong. The guy who can't wait to stop talking. He's tired, man. He's so tired. This is the most shit-lib argument I have ever heard. When is Peter Coffin going to come in? I want to catch a little bit of that. Someone needs to put him in his place.
Should we start dragging on progressives?
Ignoring political viability, do you think MFA is a bad idea?
Bernie's, I think Bernie's is. I just don't know why you have to ban private insurance. I don't understand that. What's the argument in favor of it? Peter didn't want to come on tonight.
Okay, that answers that. Did you hear that shit? I had to leave. I had to leave. Otherwise, I'm going to be there all night. So I got work in the morning. What's... Seriously. What is the purpose of it? It doesn't need to exist. Because it will already be taken care of. Bud. Holy shit. People think this guy is smart. This is like Ben Shapiro all over again. He's the Ben... I stand by what I said earlier on Twitter. He is the Ben Shapiro of the center. Like, they're gonna re-Obamacare line. Yeah. You know what? We probably will appeal Obamacare. You want to know why? Because it will be superfluous. It will be unnecessary. It will be redundant as fuck. once we get Medicare for all. But do you know what's going to happen first? We're going to pass Medicare for all. We're going to enact it. And then we're going to get rid of Obamacare because it won't matter. I stand by Obamacare as being better than before. It saved my life. It saved my wife's life. I'll tell the stories as many times as I can. You know, and I replied to him because he said that he's pretty sure that the 20,000 people whose lives, or 200,000 or whatever people's lives who were saved by the ACA would agree with him. And I said, actually, I don't. As one of those people, I think it would be a lot better under Medicare for all because currently, and okay, so I didn't tell you this story earlier. So let's talk about how great American healthcare is. All right, let's fucking do this. Now I told you guys I went to the doctor earlier this week. Some of you saw my post about this. Some of you didn't. That's fine. Here's a great example of the wonderful American healthcare system. Now, I had knee surgery about 4 years ago. Didn't really do much follow-up with my surgeon there. That's on me, whatever. But we didn't really set up appointments. Shit kept happening. I had to go back to work. I was in school at the time, blah, 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 blah. It just didn't work out, whatever. I had to do what I had to do. I kept following up with my doctor about it. Here we are 4 years later, and I'm starting to get more pain in my knee again. And it's causing me to have trouble walking. It's causing me to hurt my back because I'm compensating on my right side. So I'm like, man, I need to get this shit checked out. So I had my doctor take a look at it. He tells me that I need an MRI. I'm probably need a cortisone shot. Probably going to need to go in and talk to my ortho again. You know, okay, cool. All right, well, they'll be in touch with you. They'll set up the appointment. Cool. I go to pick up my pills. I'm standing in line. I get a call from my doctor's office, not the ortho. And they say, hey, they need you to call them and ask for their billing department. I'm like, oh, no. Because my previous insurance, and here's another example of the great American system. My previous insurance was really good insurance when it actually paid out, which it would purposely take extra time to do so. So we would have to call them and hound them and be like, hey, why didn't you guys pay for this? So I was worried it was something like that. Because then we're talking about like tens of thousands of dollars, right? So I call them. And they say, you know, yeah, it looks like you're delinquent on your bills. It says you've refused to pay, and when we tried to reach you, you don't return any of our calls. And I was like, oh, well, I wasn't getting any calls and I wasn't getting any mails. I moved once since then. Maybe it got lost in there. Like, yeah, well, maybe. But, you know, maybe there's a way we can take care of this. But in order to book your appointment, we need to take care of this first. And I go, okay, all right, well, I guess I'll have to figure out what I'm going to do because I really want to take care of my knee because I work a very physically demanding job. So I ask her, like, all right, so what's the damage? $10. 10 doll hairs. They would not book my appointment over 2 Lincolns. Is Hamilton on the $10 bill? I can't remember. I think it is. I think it's Hamilton. So a Hamilton. I forget who's on the 10. That's Obamacare. That's the ACA. That's the Affordable Care Act. Now, if I had Medicare for all, you want to know what happened? I would have already seen them already because I wouldn't have waited 4 years to get that checked up on. I wouldn't have waited for things to go so bad that I'm having to miss work because of it. I was just gone. But I'm a normal person. I don't have that money to spend like that. Copays add up like a motherfucker. And especially for specialists, oh, don't even get me started on that. And this motherfucker wants to tell me that I should be thankful that that was there. And which I am, because it's better than before. But here's the thing, motherfucker. We can do better. What are you so afraid of? I think I do know what you're afraid of. Somebody doesn't want to get taxed. I don't want to pay no taxes. Isn't that right, you bitch? Get your shit together. You faux-aggressive, whiny, centrist piece of shit. You're damn near a millionaire, and you're bitching and moaning about the fact that you're going to have to pay for Medicare for all. And you see it as unreal, so you want to make people pay for Biden's plan, which will be, what was it, $1,000 a year? If I had to pay $1,000 a year, that would destroy me. That is not a better option. That's just a means to create more debt. More debtors. And I think we've got plenty of that already. Which is another reason why they won't buttress any of these points into Bernie's proposals to cancel student loan debt. Because they know that they can't argue against that. Because they have no plans for that. So then what? Destiny, Steve, what say you? You know I'm not there yet, Kennedy. I'm probably never going to be there. I'm happy with my democratic socialism. If we get there, I'll feel pretty good about things. Decommodify housing, decommodify, all necessities, sure. But I would love to have some capitalist innovation in my stack foods. All I'm saying. I don't know about you, but I fucking love Doritos. And that, my friend, is capitalism. Too bad we're going without you. Don't worry, you'll go to a good re-education camp. Yes, don't put me in the one that shocks my balls. Just nipple clamps at best. I might actually like that. You never know. You never know. Like I said, if you use the nipple clamps, that'll be less torture and more pleasure. I can't wait for the Michael Brooks thing. I think I might simulcast it. Depending on what time they start, I think I might just have next week's stream just be that. And every now and then, to keep in with fair use, I'll have to comment. And I will react. And I'll try my best to not talk over them. But, needs to happen. That one probably won't go... Well, can that go on YouTube? I don't know if that can go on YouTube. Is that counted as fair use? I'm going to have to look into that. But I don't want to miss that. Because someone has to put him in his place. The only thing that's going to let me down is Michael doesn't talk very fast. So Steve is going to just bombard him like Ben Shapiro. This is perfect practice for Ben Shapiro. So I hope he debates him soon. We'll see how it goes. But I really hope that Michael, he's way too wordy for these types of debates. He can be, yeah. If he comes up with a good example, if it's a conversation, like, here's what we could do. Here's what Michael needs to do, all right? And I've seen this work. When Destiny had Ben Burgess on, it was more of a conversation about things. It's kind of reaching at each other. It was nice. Destiny walked away and bitched about it as like a fool's dream afterwards. But, you don't really see that. Michael comes in with his calm demeanor and says, "Hey, bud. Yeah. No, let's talk about these poll numbers. You know, if you actually combine these polling numbers for people that make under 100,000, it's actually more than the amount of those that take that make more than that. I think that'd be a good place to start, don't you? That's logical, is it not?" And Michael comes in like that. Destiny won't know what to do because he'll play off that energy. He'll try to raise the game. He'll try to get pissed off and like and do the thing that he likes to do. I don't think that works against Michael. I think he might be actually the better fit than Sam, now that I think about it. This is going to be good stuff, and this needs to happen for the good of America. Destiny. Debating Michael Brooks. And losing. To lose the soul of America in capitalism. This is what we need.